Let me start by saying that it is indeed a unique honor to come and talk to you here. But I must also warn you that I will bring a perspective which is quite different. I will not bring the traditional perspective of what possibly is going around in the trade, but I am also a little intimidated by the powerful panel that is sitting here, some of whom I know from earlier, and whom I respect for their knowledge. The theme of today's seminar is SecureIT. We're talking of what Mr. Shastri said about protecting this. Now tell me, can anybody today sitting here, anybody, give me a distinction between what is IT and what is telecom? Maybe you had asked that question 5 years back. Yes, the technologies being used for telecom are quite different. Now there is total convergence. So I question the very heading of the seminar, because I feel that IT or telecom cannot be separate. It has to be IC tech, ICT, you're all aware, E for electronics, C for cyber. If you look at them independently, it may suit business houses, it may suit marketing teams, but it does not suit the user. How do I look at data? Now, importantly for us to understand that India has taken a conscious decision to go into the Internet protocol. And for the last few years, we are working in IPv4, likely to migrate very soon to IPv6. So what does that mean? That means that services like voice, services like video will all be carried by a version of IP, packetized. It is all data. So if you talk of anything, whether it is IT or it is telecommunications, it is all residing on data. So the primary focus must be on data security. And data security takes me to the next linkage. Data where? Most people talk about data which is lying in the databases or data which is being used by people. If you protect them, you're safe. You're not. Look at it end to end. I say that the whole ecosystem of IC tech can be divided into 3 parts. One is data at rest. Second is data on the move. And third is data in use. Now if you protect the entire thing, then you have protected the entire ecosystem. If you protect only data at rest, you haven't protected anything, because the infrastructure which is carrying the data may be the weakest link. So what encompasses data at rest? It encompasses everything. Storage devices, it encompasses data centers, DR sites, various things. Anything which comes in that, or anything which is likely to come in that, will be categorized under this heading. Data move, very well known. Networks. Data use, your appliances, your applications. Now if you look at only one segment, then the other segment may have weaker security, or you may end up securing all simultaneously, but with different grades of security, with overlapping layers in one and only a single layer in others, which is what normally happens. If you secure transport layer, then do you really have to secure the packets which are flowing over that transport layer? It's a moot question. Maybe my friend will be able to answer that. Sometimes we overdo security, sometimes we underplay security. So when we are securing something, we must keep this in mind. That is my viewpoint. The other viewpoint I want to leave with you is that this entire ecosystem of data is akin to a military operation. You have to assess it, You have to decide what it is. It is an unknown entity because it is not produced by you, it is produced by somebody else. Are you buying tools from that same person to secure something which he himself has produced? Those are questions you have to answer yourself. So let us start by saying that in the current Indian context, where we are not even producing 1%, forget about the entire ecosystem. If you are not producing, then we have to be suspicious of the entire gamut of things. We have to consider this gamut in the first instance as an enemy and see that we are secured against this enemy. That is data at rest, data in move, and data in use. Secure it. Make yourself immune, and thereafter consider it as a friend and start utilizing it to your benefit. This is what is done in the military systems. This is what I would strongly suggest we should do in our protection of our critical infrastructure, protection of our data, all components. We are talking of components. When we are saying infrastructure, what does it mean? It means storage, it means networks, it also means critical areas where we are utilizing. We have the time in India. We are not so heavily dependent on systems that if the systems get attacked or compromised to some extent, our country is not going to come to a standstill. We still have time. But if we don't start looking at this indigenously with an Indian model, rather than quoting foreign models and saying this is the best for us, somebody will say the American system is best for us, others will say Chinese is best for us, Dutch I will say no, Russian is best, German is best, Israel is best, close your eyes by that. It doesn't serve us. We have to create an Indian system by picking up the best practices of all these systems. We will be able to do it. Only thing is, we have to apply our minds differently. If we start buying off-the-shelf solutions, then we are only adding MNCs to sell their products. They will sell you the products, but they are doing it for what purpose? They are not trying to protect your critical infrastructure. They are doing it for business. And it is business that has brought them to India. We can't blame them for that. Even Indian companies, unless you are critical and you don't look at, if you don't dive down deep, you will find there are criticalities in that also. You have to know about them. You can't be a decision maker only on financials. You have to look at systems technically. You have to build up systems, and that is how it will be protected. I could have spoken about the structured presentation, giving out the history, what all threats we received, how we overcome them, what is likely to happen. All that is there on the internet. We can all study that. But I thought I will bring this perspective to you, and more on this in the Q&A session. Thank you so much.